Thanks for checking out this video. Today we're looking at Mac Demarco's 2019 album called Here Comes the Cowboy. I'm going to show you the front, the back, the inside. I'll show you the record itself. And there was a poster, but it's hanging up on my wall. So we're not going to take a look at that, but it's similar to the inside of the Gatefold, so I'll show you that in a minute. The album cover is a pin. It's a photograph of a pin of a smiley face on the front, and it looks like it's faded or some sort of like discoloration on the pin itself. If we flip it over, we can see the back of the pin with some writing on the bottom and the barcode on the right. The bottom left, it says Caroline International 2019 Max Record Label 2812113130, and the barcode is 42812113113. Not that you'll ever need this info, but it's interesting to see all the writing on packaging that we don't notice. Things like the barcode, the copyright, and things like that. On the side, it might be hard to see, but it says Mac Demarco, Here Comes the Cowboy, and then that same number that was in the bottom left, 2812113130. Now let's flip it over because this is a gatefold, or we'll flip it open rather. So it's a large, sort of candid photo of Mac in his studio. And there are a lot of things in the background. It's like a big mess. There's LaCroix cans. There's a bunch of studio equipment. Maybe we could point some things out here. If there's anything that's recognizable. And there's also some writing in the bottom right and in the bottom left. But that is sort of illegible. I can't quite read that. But I can read the stuff in the bottom right, so we'll get to that. Let's see though, first, I noticed there's some ATR master tape, and that's half-inch tape, I believe, that he's running on his tape machine, his 8-track. Some IPA, I believe that's some like, I don't know, it might just be alcohol, but it's some like cleaning fluid for the tape maybe. Speakers, monitors, there's some Genelec speakers. Genelec is a brand of studio monitor. He has 2 of them. And then if you can see in the top right of the image, there's a Yamaha, what looks to be an NS10 monitor, and I would assume that there is a second one on the left, but it is not in this photo. These are very popular sort of studio monitors, so it makes sense that they're in his studio. Being an independent artist who runs his own studio, it's important, I'm sure, to have all of this equipment. We also see a synthesizer, a mason jar, an empty mason jar. There's also some equipment here, some outboard gear. Starting on the left, there's a DBX 160. I believe that is a compressor. Pretty sure. There's also, let's see, stereo reverb processor by Bricasti Design. I've never heard of this piece of equipment before. Next to it, over here on the table, there's a micro limiter by Alesis. And then below that, there is another piece of equipment that I'm not familiar with and do not see any writing on the front. So I guess we'll never know, unless anybody in the comments wants to tell me. Let's see, anything else? Well, here's a beautiful tube condenser microphone. Believe it's a Neumann, but could be something else. Who knows? In the bottom right, there looks to be some handwritten notes on graph paper that were photocopied and pasted onto this image. This first note is a thank you note, which I'm not going to read because it's just a bunch of people's names. And, I'm not familiar with any of these people. I'm sure they're just personal people in his life. There's nothing crazy in there. But on the right, there are some credits for the album. Starting with, I'll start at the top. All songs written by Mac Demarco, engineered by Mac Demarco and Joe Santarpia, mixed by Mac Demarco and Joe Santarpia, with help from Shags Chamberlain, mastered by David Ives. All instruments played by Mac Demarco, except for keys by Alec Mean on Finally Alone, Choo Choo, The Cattleman's Prayer. Everything was written, tracked, and mixed at Jazz Studios in Los Angeles, California. And then at the bottom there's a B sign. Rock and roll. Cover photos by Mac Demarco. Gatefold photo by Christine Lay, maybe. L-A-I, it looks like. Okay, that's everything notable, I think, about this photograph. So I'm going to move this to the side, close it up, and we'll look at the record itself. It's in this plastic sleeve to keep the dust out of it. So, here is side A, think that I chose this. This was an unintentional sort of purchase. I thought I was just gonna get the black, I believe. But I like it. There's a little bit of hiss on this record, from what I remember. But not too bad. It's still enjoyable to listen to. So we'll start with side A. The track listing is Here Comes the Cowboy, Nobody, Finally Alone, Little Dogs March, Preoccupied, Choo Choo, and Gay. From what I remember, Nobody was the single that was released ahead of the album coming out. And maybe another one. But maybe it's on side B. So, got a little bit of dust. Side B. The tracks are Heart to Heart, Hey Cowgirl, On the Square, All of Our Yesterdays, Skyless Moon, Baby Bye Bye, and then the hidden track at the end is the Cattleman's Prayer. So from what I remember, the second single was All of Our Yesterdays, but I could be remembering that incorrectly. Heart to Heart became really popular over the last year or two, I think from TikTok. It was sort of like one of those popular sounds that people use for their videos, and now it has like hundreds of millions of streams on Spotify. It's absolutely insane. It's a good song though. It's, respect, it's a good song. This whole album was good. I will say though, this was, as many of his fans know, this was like his big, this was a very different sound from what he was known for at that time. And this sort of marked like the shift. Hold on, let me put the record back. This album marked a pretty big shift with his sound. In 2017, he put out This Old Dog, which sort of started that shift. It was more acoustic and it was less synth heavy, although there were still a lot of synths. But with this album, it was a lot of acoustic guitar, a lot of very slow, mellow tracks with like percussion. I don't want to give it a negative connotation, but it was a much slower, softer sound that a lot of people didn't love at the time, but they've grown to appreciate. And now his last two releases are like completely off the rails instrumentals, and also songs with lyrics, but mostly instrumentals, and a totally different sound from what he became known for. So I appreciate this album as sort of like the final group of songs, like with lyrics and lyrical meaning. Since then, it's been a lot of piecemeal or songs that were not officially released on like an album that we would think of as an album. So I appreciate this album now. My favorite Mac was at a very sort of important time in my life. I was in college, so you get attached to those albums, and then you feel nostalgic for them when the sound has changed. So I appreciate all that stuff. And I like the new stuff too. It's just, different. As I'm sure many of you know if you are a Mac Demarco fan. But, yeah, with that, I will leave you to relax. I hope you have a great night or a great day whenever you're watching this video. And I hope this brings you some peace and maybe insight into what this